ones that you had started the week with are going well. And if not, just know that there's still time for you to fix up. I also hope that you guys took some time this week to appreciate the doors and reflect on the places and obstacles that you've gone through to get to where you are. Looking back for me and reflecting is something that I do very often, that I find extremely important, because a lot of the times the goals that we set for ourselves, we think that accomplishing them will be loud, filled with cheers, celebration, confetti, and all that good stuff, when in fact, most of the goals that we accomplish are done through tiny, nearly invisible steps that we take every day to get towards that goal. And sometimes these steps are so small that we don't even realize that something that we wanted last year, we've entered into it so smoothly that we're there now. So, because of that, it's really important to be critical of where you are and mindful of how far you've come along from where you've started. And looking at the doors and appreciating them also gives you an opportunity to reassess the goals and the ambitions that you've had for yourself. Because the goals we set last year, we may have accomplished by now, or we may not even be in the same mental state that we were last year. So the goals that we had for ourselves might not even be what we want for ourselves anymore. So looking back and realizing how we've changed and evolved will help us decide what new doors we want to kick down, what new doors we want to shut, what new doors we want to walk through, and what doors we're absolutely fine with being the way they are. So from that, I'm just going to get right into what we're going to be talking about this week, and that's going to be validation. In particular, we're going to be talking about the effects of validation and who to seek it from. If you know anything about social media and what's been going on, you've probably heard that Instagram has this plan to remove likes. And since I live in Canada, aka the social media guinea pig before they do things in America where there's more population and potentially more backlash, we actually had all of our likes removed last week. So for anyone who doesn't live here, or if it's not a worldwide thing yet, people can still like your pictures, but when they like your pictures, it will say the picture was liked by one username and others, whereas in the past it would say one username and 100, 1,000, 1,000,000 others. The thing with it is that you, as the owner of the Instagram, if you click on the others, you can see exactly how many people liked your post, but other people on the outside can't see it unless they want to click on the others and count every single person who liked it. And anyone who does that, I think you should delete them. That's kind of creepy. But anyway, right now there's a lot of discussion on it. Some people think it's a good thing because of a lot of the pressure, especially for women and body image, that this whole likes mentality has caused, because a lot of people will behave in ways that they probably wouldn't if they weren't being validated by someone clicking a heart that equates to a like, that equates to value, the more of them you can amass. Although that's a whole story for another day and a whole discussion for another day, but that's just kind of where we are as a society right now. And I guess social media companies are seeing the negative effects that their sites are having, and the discussions that are being raised, and what women, especially, not exclusively men too, I'm sure, but mostly women, are doing to gain this popularity or to gain this acceptance from the masses, like body enhancements and things like that. With the new change, I've noticed that people fall into one of three camps. And it's either they're posting more, less, or the same frequency since the change has happened. And with this change, and in particular those who post more now or less now, I feel that the issue comes down to where you get your validation from. And for the purposes of this discussion and to keep everything simple, you either get your validation from yourself or you get it from others. When you get validation from yourself, you do what you want to do to either feel better about yourself or to put something that you have on the inside of you out there to share it with others. It could even be to make money. It could be to put your gifts out there. But the motivation to do what you're doing and to continue to do what you're doing comes from a push that you have on the inside of you. Whereas when your validation comes from others, the actions you take will be furthered or hindered based on whether or not you're receiving accolades and acknowledgement from those who you seek it from. So in the case of Instagram now, for example, if you post a picture and you think it's a really nice one and it's your favorite outfit or whatever, and you post it and only 3 people like it, you may wear another outfit that you think is just as nice as the other one was, and you want to post a picture, but you may not have the encouragement, or you may have a fear to post that picture because the last one you posted wasn't received the way you had hoped it would be. The risk of putting your self-value in the validation that you receive from others is the fact that people love to flip-flop. What's popular today is unpopular tomorrow. What everybody co-signs today is canceled tomorrow. So to take your self-worth and value and put it in the hands of people who can't even keep their mind on a decision of what they like for more than 15 minutes is a huge risk and a very unwise way to live your life. And with the fact that we know that people change their minds so much, you're pretty much setting yourself up to be an unemotional wreck. Because the same people who love you today are the same ones who tomorrow will no longer be interested in you. And aside from the fact that they're fickle and the fact that the world and society as we know it is just able to flip on its head in an instant with the advent of social media and the fact that information gets out there so quickly, the other issue is the fact that when you seek validation from outside of yourself, you're potentially filling a bottomless cup because there never seems to be enough that you can do to satisfy people long term. And that's why you'll see someone on social media posting a picture and a year later their pictures are way more risque. And the reason is because if you continue to do the same thing that you did in the beginning, people are going to start to lose interest. Everybody wants what's new. Everybody wants what's fresh. Everybody wants what's on trend. And in order to continue to satisfy them, you're going to continue to have to push yourself further and further. And of course, it's admirable to be able to push yourself in a creative sense, like creating new music or whatever. But a lot of the time, and especially with social media, and for women in particular, pushing yourself is to new sexual risky limits. And you'll find that no matter how far you push, there's going to be something within you which is actually coming from outside of you because of the fact that you've put your self-value in others that will continue to push and encourage you to take it a little further, see what they think. And when you live your life to satisfy others in this way, there's going to come a point where you're going to completely lose yourself because you're going to continue to be pulled by what they tell you to do, or there's going to come a point where you actually stop and realize that I'm not going any further than this. I can't do it. I don't think there's value in it. And at that point, you're going to realize that the value you need is actually coming from yourself and that you're the one who's able to set the boundaries of what's appropriate and what you don't want to do. So, to avoid all of this, my suggestion would be to look within yourself and find a way to see yourself for what you're worth, understand what you want to put out there, what you want to represent, and be able to stand on the fact that that's who you are. So it's not always going to be pretty, it's not always going to be cute. You might do what you think you believe in, and nobody might like it, no one might understand it, but that's okay, because at the end of the day, you have to account for your actions. And self-validation will always give you the confidence to do what you want to do, irrespective of what others have to think. You'll be able to be unapologetic and genuine, and with that, hopefully people will gravitate towards you and flock towards you. And if they don't, it's okay, because you believe in what you're doing enough to continue to do it outside of the claps and the applauses and cheers that may be there for you today, and tomorrow you may look out the window and they're gone anyway. So I say all of this to say that it's important for us to look to seek from ourselves and gain from ourselves the things that we want from others, because to put our lives and our value in the hands of others is extremely dangerous, and it's not long lasting, and it's not a healthy way to live our lives. Now we're going to get into the weekly word, which is a guiding statement to keep in mind and apply throughout the week. For this week, the word is do your best every day. Before you judge me and say that's corny and that's cliche, hear me out. There's more to it. It's actually a physical task this time that I hope you can try starting tomorrow and for the rest of the week until we meet again. So what I want each and every one of you to do is, first thing in the morning when you wake up, or as soon as you can, it could be in the shower, you don't have to take an extra moment out of your morning if you don't have it, because I know a lot of us have really crazy mornings. What I want you to do is ask yourself, what do I have to do today to be at my best? And the reason I want you to ask yourself this each morning is because it will vary from morning to morning, depending on the solid tasks you have and the lesser tasks. So yes, every day you have to go to work, but just going to work and coming home may not be you being the best you can be for the day. There are some days where you might need to clean, you might need to cook, do groceries, you might need to write, you might need to read. So what I want is for you to take a moment and consciously decide what it is you would have to do to be at your best for that day, and try your best to accomplish those things. And then part 2 is that at the end of the day, take a few moments as well, most likely in bed right before you fall asleep, and consider, did I actually do the things I needed to do to be at my best, or did I not? If you did, wonderful, great. If you didn't, ask yourself, why is it that I didn't do these things? Is it because I set unrealistic goals for myself? Is it because I really didn't have that time? Is it because I just got lazy and decided to watch Netflix instead of doing whatever it is I wanted to do? And the goal of this task is for you to be able to set intentions and execute them, and understand what it is that you don't often execute. Because as you go through the week, if you're one of those people who can make your best list and accomplish it every day, great. But some of you, like myself included, will probably find that there are certain tasks that always seem to be the ones that get left behind. For example, you may put it on your list that you need to sweep the house, and you never get that done day after day after day. And it's not that you don't have time. So then you need to ask yourself, why is it that I'm avoiding doing some of these tasks that I know are necessary, but I don't feel like, and how can I push myself? So the goal of this is to give you some accountability and to give you an opportunity to take a critical assessment of what you do in your day and if you're accomplishing and working at the highest level that you possibly can. Good luck, guys. And with that being said, I'm going to end my podcast for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can send me an email, you could send me a DM, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And I'll talk to you next Wednesday.